will not be able to develop our human personality and not understand what our human rights and fundamental freedoms are. Without an education, how can we participate effectively in society? Without an education, how can we know of other cultures and be tolerant of other races, ethnicities, or religious groups? Without an education, how can we peacefully coexist in an increasingly integrated world? Simply put, we cannot allow the state to effectively withdraw the right to education. So, I thought it was important to note that. The covenant that I just cited is not a binding treaty. So the United States knows about it, but is not party to it. But they are parties to the following treaties, which is the American Declaration on the Rights and Duties to Man, which was signed in 1948, and also in the Organization of American States Charter. So both of those treaties are binding upon the United States. So that means that the United States ratified it back then, and they put it into effect, and it is law. So, what does it say? Relevantly, every person has the right to an education, which shall be based on principles of liberty, morality, and human solidarity. Is the U.S. government doing that? I ask you that. No? Yes? Not as good. That's right. Likewise, every person has the right to an education that will prepare him to attain a decent life, to raise his standard of living, and to be a useful member of society. The right to an education includes the right to equality of opportunity in every case, in accordance with natural talents, merits, and a desire to utilize the resources that the state or the community is in a position to provide. So essentially what they're saying is that education in a true equal society is a way towards social advancement. And that's a message that we've all been given since birth. But, we have to question this. Is this true? Are they doing this? This is what they're bound to do by law. So, so I just want to emphasize that the underlying issue is equality. When we do not have an equal society, then the right of education is under attack. And we need to catch them at what they say. So the United States government, through their own politicians, they've agreed to this right, and they've agreed to it in law, and we have to remind them of it. There are many different ways to advocate for this right, and there are different ways to keep our politicians accountable. That's one of the purposes of this discussion here. The different ways that we all are fighting towards. Without further ado, here's Pablo Mota from Student Government, and he will be the moderator. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Pablo Mota and I'm the Senator for the School of Arts and Sciences here in the school. For those of you who don't know, the SGA is your student voice in campus and is your direct link with administration here in campus. One of our responsibilities is to voice your opinion and your concerns in the myriad of issues that affect you and the rest of the students here. NIPERG, in collaboration with the SGA, has brought to you this forum for you to voice your opinion and tell us what's important to you. Today we will have a couple of speakers give their point of view on some of the issues mentioned by Demian. And I will be your moderator for this evening. Thank you. Our first speaker is going to be Professor Costas from the Sociology Department.
Hi everybody, it's great to see such great numbers. Well, let me start by saying that over the last 40 years, the top 1% in the US and around the world have unleashed a class war on the rest of us. This war has led to greater inequality, greater economic insecurity for all of us, greater economic and social instability. And it has also led to reduced access to public goods such as healthcare and education. Now, many of you know that I'm from Greece, and there is no better example of the brutal attack against ordinary people than Greece right now, where they are attacking people's college. And how does our wonderful capitalist system deal with that? Well, there's a new industry. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. It's called the sugar baby industry. And I'm not making this up. There are websites where young college students, usually females, basically can find sugar daddies who will pay large amounts of money for their companionship and whatever else that means. Right? This is where we're reaching. Students, things are becoming so desperate, students have to come up with highly unorthodox ways of being able to go to college. Now, and what happens as support for public education plummets? Well, the tuition goes up, and the conditions are basically deteriorating. And that happens at CUNY, at CityTech, this new room notwithstanding. There's a student group that I've talked to recently, and they started a campaign to try to improve the situation in the bathrooms. And ever since I talked to them, I've been paying attention to the bathrooms a little more. Anybody has been to the men's bathroom on the 4th floor of the NAM building? Okay, so you've seen what I'm talking about. If I'm lying, please correct me. Right? This was such a disgusting sight. It was like that on Thursday. I checked again today, giving people the benefit of the doubt. Right? So, the water flow doesn't work. There are 4 urinals. 2 of them are out of commission, wrapped up with plastic. Right? And then, because there's no water flow, there's accumulation of yellow stuff. I guess that's the stuff that accumulates when urine remains stagnant because there's no water flow. Right? This is the situation. This situation obviously is, unacceptable. I mean, do you think the sort of top CUNY administrators, our politicians, the members of the 1% would send their children in colleges where these conditions prevail? If you do, there is a bridge across the college that I'd like to sell to you. So, this is just one example. And I think it's, 2 minutes? Okay. And I think it's a good thing that students are organizing because people in higher places, they don't necessarily prioritize your interests. I mean, they want to advance their careers like everybody else. They want to please the people who are their superiors, and they will oftentimes not do what they have to do for your interest unless you're in their face and you force them to do that. So it's very important that you're active, and it's good that CUNY students do seem to be more active, and there is a wave of activism across the world and across the New York City area. There is the example, for when the tuition hikes happen, students show up at Baruch College. They wanted to participate in the hearing. The chancellor didn't like that. They don't like being criticized by students. They want to say that they have the best interest of the students. So they didn't want to have too many people in the hearing room, so they had the police. And even though the room was not full, they wouldn't allow students to go in. And when students said, no, we're not going to go to this other room where you're not going to hear of us, guess what the police did? The police arrested them and picked them up. And they still have to deal with the courts, right? This is not, the way they are supposed to be behaving. But they will keep behaving like that unless there is a fight back from all of you. And if there is a fight back, that's the only way that things will improve. That's the only way that politicians and CUNY administrators and the 1% will pay attention. And if you push hard enough, then things may change. And that's the only way things have changed for the better in the past. That's the only way they will change for the better in the future. So, for those of you who have already joined the struggle for a better city day and a better world, keep up your good work. For those of you who haven't done so yet, what are you waiting for? Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Costas. If anyone has questions for him, you'll have a chance to ask all your questions at the end of the forum. We'll have a Q&A discussion panel. The next speaker is